Hey guys, welcome to another Jack Vlog. I'm Kirikai, and today we are taking a look at episode 96 of Samurai Jack Season 5. So, without further I can tell you right now, I was really hyped to check out this episode, and you know what? I really enjoyed it. I really had a good time with it. It didn't turn out exactly as I expected, but I still loved what I got. So, let's jump right into the synopsis. No bullshit. It starts off with a bunch of army men coming about Aku's giant castle, which if you've seen like past episodes like Jack versus Demongo, you definitely recognize the castle, especially in the first episode. Like, it's this big long tower with Aku's spike head things or whatever, spidery things or anything like that. It like is Shogun spikes, whatever. These armies show up, they line up to prepare to attack, and then it's like you got people from Rome. I assume you got people from France, and I'm assuming you got people from England, because that's what their colors look like. And then you get all these other and then the last army that shows up is Scotland, and it's a bunch of women like in plaid skirts and white t-tops, like, and they're just ready to kick some ass, all in there. And then, of course, I know where you're going with this. And Scotsman rolls up in a wheelchair, and he's old, but man, he's still got it. He's still talking shit, and he's still holding that sword with pride. And of course, the first thing he does is like, "How we found it!" And then, okay, excuse me for my terrible Scotsman voice. It always shifts back and forth to Aku. And then, of course, we see, we find out a few things in this scene. One, Scotsman and his wife clearly got busy in the past 50 years, because the entirety of Scotland's army is... they're all Scotsman's daughters, every single one of them, and they look nice, I gotta tell you. Like, as the comments have said below, or to quote Aku, as seen as how this meme is still going on right now, they are in fact extra thick! Yeah, that was forced. That's gonna probably just make a lot of people cringe, but I couldn't help myself. Anyway, yeah, Scotsman's daughters look nice. So nice that Scotsman tells them to cover them up, because they're like, "What you doing? You look like you're going out for a date. Cover yourself, why don't you?" And then they're all just like, "Dad." And then, yeah. And the second thing is, Aku finds out what's happening, and he's just annoyed, like, "Can someone please stop all that noise?" And then he opens up a window, the little zipper window, like in the classic episodes, where he peers out to see, of course, with his world cameras that point out what's going on in the world. He would usually use those to track down the samurai, which, at this point, he doesn't really care, and then he just looks out the window to see, oh, it's a bunch of these rebel assholes trying to cause trouble to my tower. And then Aku's like, "Perhaps annihilating this scum will break me out of my malaise." And if you don't know what malaise is, it's basically another word for illness or depression or anything like that. So anyway, he rockets up, he blasts up, turns into a giant ball. Scotsman goes in, "Gah!" with his sword up in the air. And they stop. Aku, with the giant ball, rises up and then starts rolling over the armies, decimating them entirely. And then Scotland's the only one that's left. Scotsman and his daughters are the only one that are left. And Scotsman's like, "Oh, this was a bad idea. Daughters, you go out and do something." See, like, it's turning into... See, I can't... Aye, this is a bad idea. My daughters, go out and protect yourselves. So, yeah, the daughters run off, and Scotsman decides to stall Aku, so that way he doesn't go after them. And then, right before Aku decides to chase after the daughters to say, Oh, might as well be a complete annihilation. And then Scotsman steps up and says, "Not so fast, you big dope!" And then, yeah, he starts to mouth off at him, talking shit about him, saying that he's a coward, he's still afraid of the samurai, he's inspired a lot of people, and of course, Aku's just, like, giving him a pouting bitch face, like, going... And then he just shoots him with laser eyes. You know, the funny thing is, when I saw the preview for this, I was expecting Scotsman to, like, at least raise up a sword and go after him, but no, Aku's just not having it. He's just not interested. Because even after he killed all those armies, he was just like, whatever. And then he just sort of says, alright, you're dead. I'm done. He just had to mention the samurai. And then he just flies away. Of course, you know, it's handled like both in a very comedic sense because Aku's the one that's doing it, but the aftermath of what happened is kind of tragic because, I don't know why, I kind of expected the Scotsman to last through that, but no, he dies. That's it, like, you see his bones and then he just falls apart. And the last thing that remains is the shattered piece of his sword with the magic runes. But, because Genndy loves those Star Wars references, Scotsman comes back because of the Celtic magic, aka the magic runes on his sword. If you remember from this Jack and the Scotsman episode, magic runes, but laddie, those fancy tricks won't get you nowhere. Yeah, basically he comes back as a ghost, he's back as his young self, and he devises a plan to get back Samurai Jack so he can help him defeat Aku. Then we cut back to the island where Jack and Ashi are stranded on, and Ashi begins to have visions of her mother and Ashi's starting to develop questions for what's going on. Like, if Aku's the one that we're supposed to respect, what is all this other thing? What are these other ideas that are going on? I want the truth. Is Aku the true master of this world that we should respect and love because he's brought so much love and care to this world? Or is he the one that's destroying it? I don't understand what's going on. And then after writing... There's no way to make this sound right. After writing a giant sea serpent, there's no way to make that sound not bad. There's no way to make that sound bad, no matter how I say that. After Jack and Ashi ride a sea serpent... See, like, you're probably snickering in the comments right now just by me saying that. So yeah, after they do that, they arrive to another island, and Jack decides to go off on his own, realizing, like, he's just done his part. He's just like, goodbye. And then he just walks off. And Ashi, still wanting some questions, follows Jack and decides to get some answers out of him. Jack's just like, alright, fine, but in the morning. But before that happens, Ashi and he try to go to sleep, and then Ashi asks about the stars, and then Jack tells a story about, like, one time when his mom told him about how the sky was black one time, and then this star boy and star girl, like, launched arrows into the air, causing there to be dozens of stars to be born. It's very reminiscent of the episode Jack and the Baby with the Peach Boy story, if you really think about it. It was a very cute and innocent story, and it really shows the childlike nature and the nostalgic memories of our hero, Jack. And yeah, so after that happens, morning comes, Jack shows Ashi everything. Everything that Aku is pretty much destroyed. He shows you a tree, saying, "Oh, you know that really cool tree that you used to see over here? Well, just to prove a point, Aku destroyed everything and left that one tree up just to show, don't fuck with me." And pretty much everything. He shows her everything. Destroyed city ruins. The city of Aku. We get to see the city of Aku again. Bounty hunters that go off into inhabited towns that have children in it. That have and evil people that go into, like, towns that are filled with children. And the evil people are just like, yeah, it's occupied, but I don't care. I'll just kill them all. I mean, he doesn't say that, but it's heavily implied. But anyway, yeah, they go into another ruined town, and eventually Ashi's just like, yes, I know the truth. Yaku's a bastard. I can't deny that. And then Ashi's just like, what do we do? And Jack, of course, if you've been following the first, I don't know, opening of, if you've been listening to the opening sequence where he's just like, all hope is lost. Jack's like, we do nothing. And pretty much just like, as he's mentioned in the intro, he's just like, there is no way to defeat Aku. I've seen countless people die. There is no way to kill this demon. And of course, right on cue, Jack gets requests for help from this blue beast creature person or whatever. That kind of looks like a mixture of that monster from the Jetsons movie. Those, like, little neighbor people that were, like, covered in blue fur or whatever. And the Beast from X-Men. So anyway, yeah, he says, Jack, it's you. You finally come back. Oh yeah, and by the way, Jack's wearing this outfit because, like, they wanted to sneak into town without getting detected, and Jack's wearing this outfit that looks very similar to something that Clint Eastwood would wear. I'm not gonna lie. Anyway, back to the main point of the story. He runs into these blue guys and says, the blue guy says, the children. They've taken away the children. And Jack just assumes and then they both figure out, alright, let's go save the children. And they figure out that apparently they've been taken away into this factory or whatever. And as they enter the said factory, they notice that all the children are just, like, standing up with their eyes closed, not much going on. But then we see these hands operate a machine, and then they start going batshit insane. Like, they got red eyes, and they're just tearing shit up, like, ah! And they're just like, it's really fucking scary, man. It's really fucking scary. So they chase after Jack. Meanwhile, Ashi tries to follow him, and then, like, yeah, these monsters keep turning. The kids come after the blue beast children. Go after Jack back and forth, and Jack's trying his best to defend himself, and eventually Ashi gets cut off at one point and trapped by this other guy named Dominator. That's literally his name in the credits. Dominator. Has nothing to do with the Wonder Over Yonder character. This is a completely different person. This dude that wears, like, this mech suit and tortures people with electric shocks and manipulates these children to his whim. Of course, and then eventually through this whole conflict, Ashi is still gets trapped and constantly is electrocuted by this person, this douchebag, and then this results in, well, Jack, down the line, Jack is trying his damnedest not to hurt these kids. He's trying his damnedest not to do it. And he's just like, but at the same time, he's getting his ass kicked over and over by these kids, and he doesn't know what to do. And at that moment, as Ashi continues to be electrocuted, after, like, hearing, Dominator just go up, children are such idiots, they're such easy manipulative pawns. You can just make them do whatever you want, and they won't complain. And then Ashi's just having none of it. She just pulls her arms and legs out of the clamps that are holding her, which makes me think, was that something in her training? Was that something she learned from her training, or was that from the electric shocks, or is that from sheer willpower, or does she really have the essence of Aku inside her? I don't know. I highly doubt it has anything to do with Aku at this point, because during that amount of time, Aku was probably just resting in bed, not giving a shit. And yeah, that's pretty much what I could assume from that. But anyway. Ashi proceeds to kick Dominator's ass and try to undo the spell or curse or whatever is the hypnosis that the kids are under. And the kids get electric shocked. The beast kids get electric shocked and they fall over. And this causes Jack to have a no moment where he's just, like, panicking, where he just has this full out panic attack where he's just like, oh my god, what have I done? And he rests on the ground, face palm to his hands like this. And then we see that green figure again. That mysterious Shogun warrior person that keeps popping up in the episodes. That green ghost thing, whatever he is. And then he says, it's time. And then Jack says, yes. And then, I'm not kidding, he walks with him. We see him walk with them, and they fade out. And my honest reaction was, what? What the fuck? What? What? And then Ashi finds the Beast Children, and they're totally okay. They didn't die. They're totally fine. And Ashi's like, we did it! We did it, Samurai! And then she turns around and notices that Jack is gone. And the last thing we hear is her shout out, Samurai Jack! Where are you? And then that's the end of it. So, yeah, this was a really good episode. A lot of stuff happened, and that was the perfect cliffhanger to stop on, because just from seeing the preview, we're going to see a lot of throwbacks to previous episodes, especially stuff from Season 1. I don't want to give anything away specifically, but if you watch the preview, you know exactly who's coming back and what exactly we're going to see again. I can't wait to see the next episode, mainly because I feel it's going to be a very interesting character development arc for Ashi, especially, and we're going to see what Jack has been up to. Maybe we'll actually get some answers on who this mysterious figure is. Is it the figure of the spirit of death, like everyone else has been saying? Or is it the person that took Jack's sword, like I've been saying? Or is it this random-ass person this spiritual character that only Jack can see? Well, only time will tell. We'll have to find out next week. But so, anyway, yeah, this episode was solid. I had a good time with it. The action was good. The drama was good. And the character development was the strongest part of this episode. I'm really sad that the Scotsman died, but I'm at least glad we get to see him as a ghost, coming back as himself. Through the power of the Force, because Star Wars references. Well, Celtic magic, because Star Wars references. And yeah, so yeah, next week we're going to be looking at the next episode, and I'm looking forward to it. Until then, I'll see you guys on the next Jack Vlog. Later.
Watch out! Jack.